patient arrived on a dark river, drifting between the banks of a world that had already drowned. A man with a knife and a lullaby and the hollow eyes of a predator who has forgotten that he is not the wolf. His name is Harry Powell. He is not a preacher, he is a murderer. He has killed women in the name of God, and he has never felt a moment of guilt. He walks the roads of the Depression-era South, wearing a collar and a smile, reciting scripture and slitting throats. He is the most terrifying character in American cinema because he is not a monster, he is a mirror. He is every man who ever used the Bible as a weapon. I am the film pathologist. Today we are performing a post-mortem on a patient named Night of the Hunter, released 1955. Directed by Charles Laughton, a man who had never directed a film before and would never direct another. He was an actor, he was a genius. He was also a man who understood that the darkest stories are the ones that look like fairy tales. He adapted James Agee's screenplay from Davis Grubb's novel, and he shot it like a nightmare dressed in Sunday clothes. Budget $700,000. Box office a disaster. The film was hated on release. Audiences walked out. Critics called it arty and pretentious. It died. It was buried. And then, over decades, The Patient began to breathe again. It became a cult classic. It became the most influential horror film you have never seen. The Patient arrived dead to the world and immortal to the faithful. Let me put on my gloves. The film opens on a road, a man's face behind the wheel of a driving car, his voice reciting a psalm. He is wearing a preacher's collar, he has a switchblade in his pocket. He has a plan. His name is Harry Powell, but he calls himself the Reverend. He speaks to God. He speaks to his victims. He speaks to the camera. He says, "Children are small and tender. They're easily bruised." He has just killed a woman. He is about to kill another. He is not a villain. He is a force of nature. He is the wolf in the nursery. He is the night itself. That is the first wound. The film cuts to a town. A widow named Willa Harper, played by Shelley Winters, with the desperate eyes of a woman who has already given up. She has 2 children, John and Pearl. Her husband Ben is in prison for a robbery. He was the one who robbed a bank. He was the one who killed a guard. He was the one who hid the money. He is in prison. He is dying. He hides the money inside Pearl's doll, but he tells them to keep it a secret. He says, "Don't tell anyone, not even your mother." John promises, Pearl promises, Ben dies. The money is in the house. Willa does not know. The Reverend arrives. He knows about the robbery. He knows about the money. He was in prison with Ben. Ben muttered about it in his sleep. Ben also muttered about the children. The Reverend marries Willa. He moves into the house. He is charming. He is kind. He is the perfect husband. He is also a predator. He spends his days preaching and his nights searching for the money. John knows. John watches. John is terrified. That is the second wound. The patient is hemorrhaging. The Reverend turns on Willa. He berates her. He humiliates her. He tells her she is not a good wife. He tells her she is not a good mother. He tells her she is not a good Christian. She breaks. She weeps. She begs. She is a woman who has been broken by men her whole life. She sees something in the Reverend's eyes. She sees the truth. She says, "You're not a preacher, you're a liar." The Reverend laughs. He takes her into the bedroom. He raises his knife. He slits her throat. He leaves her body in the car at the bottom of the river. He tells the children their mother has left. He tells them she is gone. He tells them it is their fault. John knows. John is not fooled. He takes his sister, Pearl. They run. The Reverend hunts them. That is the third wound. The patient is flatlining. The children run through the night. They steal a rowboat. They drift down the river. The Reverend follows. He is always behind them. He is always close. He is the wolf. They are the sheep. They hide in the barn of a woman named Rachel Cooper, played by Lillian Gish, with the unwavering gaze of a woman who has seen too much to be fooled by a smile. Rachel is old. Rachel is wise. Rachel is a farmer. She is also a protector. She sees the children. She sees the fear. She knows the Reverend is coming. She does not run. She does not hide. She waits. The Reverend arrives. He is charming. He is polite. He is the perfect preacher. Rachel looks at him. She says, "I know you. You're the man who killed the woman in the river." The Reverend's face changes. The mask slips. He says, "You don't know what you're talking about." Rachel says, "I know exactly what I'm talking about, and you're not going to hurt these children." She pulls out a rifle. The Reverend raises his hands. He does not laugh. He does not threaten. He just watches. He knows he has met his match. That is the fourth wound. The patient is bleeding out from the rifle. The Reverend leaves. He does not give up. He comes back. He waits on the porch. He tries to steal into the kitchen. Rachel is waiting. She shoots. She does not kill him. She wounds him. The Reverend is arrested. He is tried. He is convicted. He is sentenced to death. He stands in the courtroom. He does not scream. He does not weep. He is silent. He is finally silent. The film ends with a shot of John and Pearl, safe in Rachel's arms. Rachel says, "They abide and they endure."
They abide and they endure.
That is the cause of death. Not the knife, not the gun. The silence. The silence of a man who has finally run out of words. The silence of a man who has finally realized that the children are not sheep. They abide, and the wolf cannot catch them. The diagnosis. Night of the Hunter is not a horror film. It is a bedtime story. Charles Laughton directed it as a fairy tale for adults, a nightmare that children can survive but adults cannot escape. The film is shot like a dream, low angles, extreme shadows, a sky that looks like a painted backdrop. The images are haunting, the Reverend's hands, the children floating in the boat, the silhouette of a man on horseback against the moon. The film is a warning. It is a warning about the men who use religion as a weapon. It is a warning about the women who are too broken to fight back. It is a warning about the children who are the only ones brave enough to see the truth. The patient arrived in 1955 and was buried. It was rediscovered. It was called a masterpiece. It is now considered one of the greatest films ever made. The patient is still alive. It is still breathing. It is still haunting. It will always be haunting. The river is still flowing. It has been flowing for 71 years. The children are still in the boat. The Reverend is still on the shore. The moon is still bright, and the silence is still the only truth. The patient is not dead. It is just waiting, waiting for the next wolf to appear, waiting for the next children to run, waiting for the next woman to pick up a rifle. That is the wound. That is the film. Go find Night of the Hunter. It is streaming on the Criterion Channel. It is on Prime. It is on every platform that has ever hosted a nightmare. Watch it at night. Watch it alone. And when the Reverend raises his knife over the children, do not look away. He is not a monster. He is a mirror. He is every man who ever used words to hurt. He is every man who ever wore a collar to hide a blade. He is every man who ever believed that his voice was more powerful than the truth. And the truth is the children. The truth is the river. The truth is the rifle. The truth is the silence that follows the wolf. The river is silent. The children are safe. The wolf is gone, but the hands are still reaching. They will always be reaching, because that is what wolves do. Good night.